Yeah, that's a super important topic. And yeah, unfortunately, I think we, especially as women, always have to take extra
Mm,
precautions.
mm,
And of course, I was nervous, right, before going because I
mm,
didn't know how to travel and how
mm,
to do it.
mm,
Even I would say I traveled to most of the countries I've been alone.
mm,
I would say one tip, and that's something we address, is really build your network and try
mm,
to know people, right? I think it's crucial because for me, there was always this thing, okay, I want to travel to this place. How do I get there? Whom do I know? And
mm,
how do I navigate everything? Right.
mm,
So my learning, and I'm super grateful for Akram, who I met during my time in
mm,
India, because anytime I traveled to a new place,
mm,
I could just call him up and he
mm,
knew in every place someone.
mm,
And I
mm,
met some amazing people through him, like Mehak, my friend who lives in Birbaling and
mm,
hosted me also in Hyderabad, you know.
mm,
So for me, having this connection was helpful.
mm,
So I always tried to know who lives there. And
mhm,
then even I was not hosted, right? I
mm.
knew, okay, there is a person I can call in case of emergency,
Yeah.
right? Or
Mm,
I can ask the simple questions because the infrastructure is, not everywhere that
mm,
developed, right?
mm, mm,
So I would be like, okay, I'm landing here or I'm coming by bus here. How
mm,
do I get from here to this place?
mm,
What's safe for me?
mm,
Right. And for me, these were super important questions
mm,
because I was always scared I'm going somewhere and I'm lost in the middle of
mm,
nowhere. Right.
mm,
So
mm,
for me, I was really planning a lot to really make sure
mm,
I know exactly where to go and
mm,
I have an emergency contact number where I can also share my location.
mhm,
And secondly, I always tried to travel by day. So
mm,
I don't, get up, travel. I even do it when I don't know where to go. I avoid
mm,
traveling by night
mm,
when it's dark.
mm,
So this is something I always did, like booking my flights during the day, reaching on the day so that I
mm,
can sort everything out. But I
mm,
was also traveling by night buses. I felt
mhm,
always fine, and there were always
mm,
people who adopted me, kind of,
mm,
who knew I'm,
mm,
that was the nice thing. Everyone saw that I'm foreign,
mm,
so everyone took me under their wings, So
mm,
I was kind of never alone. Like when
mm,
there was a break with the bus, a
mm,
girl would be like, "Hey, there's now a tea
mm,
break. Want to
mm,
join me?" So I was really never alone. So
mm,
I think this was definitely something that
mm,
always when I felt I'm alone, I was
mm,
not. And
mm,
of course, it's still important to listen to your intuition, whom you
mm,
can trust and not, right? So I think I was always still very cautious. Okay.
mhm,
Um,
mm,
I put boundaries. Sometimes there are people who want to help you and you don't want it. So I
mm,
think it's important to say it. And I
mm,
think I really learned also to say no. I don't
mm,
want your help.
mm,
Please let me. Yeah. And
mm,
I really learned that. And I think
mm,
it's very important
mm,
to put boundaries.
mm,
Um, so I think this were like my bigger trips, like really building this network, researching very well
mm,
where you go.
mm,
And I did stay mostly in hostels. I really like the brand Zostel. And I have to say I was always super happy because they had female dorms and it was always a place where there were people who can give you tips. Also, you
mm,
meet other travelers.
mm,
So I remember I traveled to Varanasi also on my
mhm,
own.
mm,
And I stayed in the hostel there. And
mhm,
I met people and we would just go out in the evening together to have dinner and to do
mm,
like an evening
mm,
walk, along the river.
mm,
And it's just so nicer to do it together.
mm,
And so I would really recommend it. And the
mhm,
quality of the places was always super nice. It was
mhm,
really made for travelers,
mm,
very attractive.
mm,
So I think I preferred hostels than staying alone somewhere because I
mm,
just met more like-minded people who are also
mm,
curious and also
mm,
alone. So I
mm,
think this was a good tip. So I can
mm,
definitely, the hostels I stayed, I can recommend. Of
mm,
course, everyone has to do their research,
mm,
right? So also
mm,
for everyone listening, please do your research.
mm,
Also, these are my experiences, right? I always tell people to be really take caution, take care of yourself, and
mm,
always be alert,
mm,
right? And yeah, and I definitely, when I travel alone, I also, when I am somewhere, I avoid going out alone at night.
mm,
Yeah, I'm always I have my times when the sun goes down,
mm,
I'm careful.
mm,
And I also do it in other places. Yeah.
mm,
So
mm,
I think these are like my main tips. So
mm,
really, yeah. I think, yeah, and unfortunately, we need to watch out for ourselves.
mm,
But I think there are also so many other women who travel alone. So
mm,
connecting and thing is always
Mm,
super helpful.
mm. Right. And while we are talking about that, there's one thing that just popped up in my mind. It's about the traffic. Now, crossing roads in
Mm.
India is not easy. Sometimes you wonder, like, would I be alive? Like, would I end up alive on the other side of the road? How did you navigate that?
I started to have fun,
Was it
and
a
I think
special gesture you used to stop people?
I became very adventurous, even more adventurous than my Indian friends. I would be just like, hi, and just start walking through. I know in Germany, the thing is, you could never do it because cars go so fast and it's
Yes.
just, you can't. I mean, of course, people cross the street, but not when there's full traffic. No
Mm.
one would dare, right? So I think when after observing the traffic from some times, I just started to be very confidently
Mm.
walking through the
Yeah.
street, waving my
Mm.
hands,
Mm.
and cars would stop.
Mm.
But in the beginning, I feel you. I think it's very, it's again the thing, it's very new, right? It's
Mm.
something you don't do, would never do in your culture. So 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 yeah, it
Mm.
looks dangerous, and I know
Mm.
even I mean one should be careful. So
Yeah.
of course, when I see people are driving too crazy, not.
Mm.
But the thing is, especially in Bangalore, sometimes traffic is also so slow. The cars don't go over,
True.
so you can do it. And
Mm.
also everyone knows, right, that there are people going through the streets, so
Mm.
everyone is mindful.
Mm.
But I have to say, yeah, it's definitely sometimes I wonder how it still works. Like it's
Organized
definitely,
chaos.
yeah, yeah. I think it's really, even when I took driving hours in Poland, they showed a picture of traffic in India, like the crossings, how crazy it is, and how people still manage to do it. And I'm like, wow. I feel like when people can drive in India, they can drive anywhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely.